Greetings. This is Reverend Bob Zanicki from the First Presbyterian Church in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. Today is Thursday, March 4th, 2021. It's getting still a little chilly out there, but the sun had been shining. But when I came in just recently, there was a little bit of snow out there, but not too much. But I'm nice and warm where I am, and I hope you are also. My friends, this coming Sunday, being that it's the first Sunday of the month, we'll be celebrating the Lord's Supper. And of course, all people are invited, all of you, to certainly be with us in worship itself in the sanctuary, or to participate live streaming, or through the video that's recorded through YouTube. And everyone is invited to partake of the Lord's Supper with us together. No one's excluded. Okay? So, in any event, besides the communion for this coming Sunday morning, over the years, I have at times concentrated on the concern, the serious concern of religious persecution throughout the world. And during this season of Lent, I thought I would once again kind of give a bit of an update on the religious persecution throughout the world. And of course, it'll be very brief, but also certainly wedded with that is the hope that we have, that we trust in God to help those that are suffering persecution. And of course, we as human beings, to whatever degree possible, we pray for them, but also if there would be certain pieces of the social structure that could be changed, then we would pray for that also and hope that some of that, or much of it, would take place. So that's what we'll be doing this coming Sunday. So I'd encourage you to invite friends, neighbors, co-workers, if they can't get to the church, or at least send them the YouTube address that we send you, and encourage them to participate in this and to hear about this very serious concern throughout the world. In my studies, and I'm trying to be as up to date as I can be, the median level of the nations in the world, 28% of the nations in our world today have a high or very high percentage of people that are suffering persecution in their lives because of their faith. So 28%. 40% of the world faces significant hindrance in their worshiping God freely. That's an awful lot. As I have, again, been studying this and looking into it for this coming sermon, 260 million Christians face persecution worldwide. That's Christianity alone. Of course, there are the other faiths also. But 260 million Christians face different forms of persecution. The Bible has a lot to say about this in the sense of persecution, people suffering for their faith. I'm going to share with you just a few of the scriptures that are available. The very first Christians, the early Christians, they found it difficult. For them to live their Christian lives meant often persecution. Now, some of it did lead to death and torture and death, but much of it also that didn't get to that level happened in terms of social ostracizing or just being pushed away and such, but the different levels of persecution. But Christianity was not favored by any stretch for the first few hundred years of their existence. And the scriptures that we have, they reflect this within basically the first century of Christianity, of its development. And I'll just read a few verses to you from Matthew. The first few are from Matthew's Gospel, chapter 5. Blessed are you when people insult you and persecute you and falsely say all kinds of evil against you because of me. Persecution was taking place. That's why we're hearing about it, or reading about it. Matthew 5:10, blessed are those who have been persecuted for the sake of righteousness, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Matthew 10:22, you will be hated by all because of my name, referring to Jesus, his name. But it is the one who has endured to the end who will be saved. Matthew 10:23, but whenever they persecute you in one city, flee to the next. For truly I say to you, you will not finish going through the cities of Israel until the Son of Man comes. Matthew 5:12, rejoice and be glad, for your reward in heaven is great, for in the same way they persecuted the prophets who were before you. So again, recognition early on, pre-Christianity, within Judaism, within the early grouping of the Hebrews, persecution. One more, Luke 21:12, and there are many, many others. But before all these things, they will lay their hands on you and will persecute you, delivering you to the synagogues and the prisons, bringing you before kings and governors for my name's sake. Another issue that has come to mind for me is that Pope Francis, the leader of the Roman Catholic Church, plans to visit Iraq. Now, he plans that for two reasons. One is to visit the Christians that remain in Iraq, but also to try to improve relations between the Muslims and the Christians. And it's my understanding, unless it's changed, and I looked at the news today earlier, he still is planning on going, and it's my understanding he'll be there tomorrow for a few days. And so he has his itinerary all mapped out. But he's going there to encourage the Christian community. Keep in mind that the Christian community, and this is just one example, the Christian community in Iraq, in 2003, they had basically 1.4 million Christians in Iraq. 1.4 million. Today, it is estimated that there are 250,000 Christians in Iraq. Now, I didn't do the specific division, what have you, but something around, they have 1/6 of their population, the Christians, from what it was just back in 2003, less than 20 years ago. And this is not unusual, of course, with the Iraqi war and such, but in terms of the countries in that area of the world, the Christians are diminishing. And we'll talk a little bit more about that on Sunday. So I hope, my friends, that you will join with me. If you can't be in the service on this coming Sunday morning, I hope you will join with us live streaming, and we will celebrate the Lord's Supper. We will hear other scriptures, and we will hear about what's going on, very briefly, of course, in the world in terms of the persecution of people because of their faith. And I'll certainly speak about the Christian persecution. And the persecution of the Christians and others, other faith traditions, we will pray for them. We will have a prayer and offer that to God. And that, again, not just to make us aware, but also to pray that they will persevere. They will persevere in their faith. So, my friends, God bless you, and I hope that you will be a part of us this coming Sunday morning. Take care now. Bye-bye.